Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. The black foaming around me, don't know where I've been. They held him back on fire, a drive, that's your Cadillac. In fact, diagnosed sick in the head, that's facts. Still lacking no defense for attack. Coming down with a sickness instead. Everything I said, it meant to make sense. I'm experienced.
New information tonight about the man arrested in the cold case murder of a teenage girl in the Bronx.
Police say the accused killer was living what appeared to be a normal life in the suburbs for more than 2 decades before new forensic technology led them to him. Tonight, CBS 2's Allie Bauman spoke with one of the detectives on the case from the beginning.
What is now Bay Plaza Mall was once a Bronx video store where in 1999 the body of 13-year-old Minerlise Soriano was found stuffed in a back alley dumpster. Police say she was sexually abused and strangled.
It has been 22 years since her life was cruelly taken, but detectives never gave up.
Joseph Martinez was arrested Monday and charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. Investigators say the 49-year-old New Rochelle resident now goes by the name Jupiter Joe and has a YouTube page which shows him teaching children astronomy on the street. Sources tell us at the time of the murder, Martinez was living in the same Bronx apartment as the teenage victim and was questioned by investigators after her death, but he was not considered a suspect at the time.
There's DNA present on the victim, and it was an unknown donor, which means that person is not identified. He's not in any known database.
Now retired NYPD detective Malcolm Ryman was on the case from the beginning. Determined to solve it even when the case went cold, Ryman began pushing for familial DNA testing to be used when the new technology emerged.
If the perpetrator's relatives are in the database, it will actually indicate that the relative is in the database.
That's exactly how detectives tracked Martinez down.
We had a forensic familial DNA search hit to the father of the defendant.
This is the first time the technique has led to an arrest in New York City. Ryman says its success is a game changer.
This is something that's going to change the way that homicides are looked at.
Martinez pleaded not guilty. When I sat down with the victim's family, they had one question.
I'd like to say to him, why?
An answer they'll have to keep waiting for, as investigators have not shared a motive. From Co-op City in the Bronx, Allie Bauman, CBS 2 News.
The distance fluctuates regularly throughout the year, but now at about 251,000 miles away on this winter night in front of the Bronx Metro North Stop here on Fordham Road, Joseph Martinez of Jupiter Joe's Sidewalk Astronomy, with the help of this powerful telescope, has eliminated that distance for those who want to take a closer look at the moon and beyond.
Excited. It was awesome. Yeah, it's nice seeing it.
It has many mirrors inside. So it's actually almost a 6-foot-long telescope in the light path that it takes. And because of that, you get a lot of magnification.
And no age limit here, just a willingness to get as close as possible to the lens.
I saw the moon, and I saw the top and the white spots.
Today we're looking at the moon. We might get to look at the Orion Nebula, might get to look at Mars.
Here with his family, Joel Rivera says he ran into Jupiter Joe's Sidewalk Astronomy last year and has since become a fan.
That big crater that you saw right in the middle of the moon, that's that crater right there.
Whoa.
Wow.
He's looking to build interest, picking a busy street like this one, where many pause briefly in the middle of their schedules to consider all that is happening above.
The last time I saw the whole thing with the moon was when I was 9 years old. When they landed on the moon, I remember seeing it. I think it was 69, if I'm not mistaken. And that was the first time. So this is the second time I see it that close. So that's pretty cool.
Jupiter Joe's Sidewalk Astronomy is just a local outreach program. It's a grassroots outreach program that's designed just to bring awareness of the cosmos to the people.
And there's been much to talk about this month with a great conjunction on the 21st, the same day as the solstice, this marking the closest anyone has seen the planets Jupiter and Saturn in a night sky in 800 years. It is this neighborhood where he grew up in that he wants to share about all this, which happens to be in a borough with a strong connection to astronomy.
There was an eclipse that happened in the Bronx back in the 1920s, and the Bronx was the only place that you could really come to see the total eclipse happened.
Out of that, the Amateur Astronomy Association of New York, one of the largest in the world, formed. The Bronx is also home to the city's second largest planetarium, located at Truman High School. The Hayden Planetarium on West 79th Street is the largest. For more information on locations to see the stars, go to JupiterJoesAstronomy.org. For BronxNet, this is Arlene Makoko.
A family in the Bronx will never stop mourning the brutal murder of their 13-year-old girl. How could they? It took days for the family to help find her body, tossed into a dumpster. But it took New York detectives 2 decades to find the man they say killed her, and how cops linked Joseph Martinez to the murder of minor Liz Soriano. Well, that's what authorities are explaining tonight. Eyewitness News reporter Stefan Kim live in the Melrose section of the Bronx with this pretty remarkable story. Stefan.
Well, Bill, approved about 4 years ago by the state, it's called familial DNA, and this is the first time this technology has been used to solve a cold case in New York City.
This beautiful little girl was treated less than human. It has been 22 years since her life was cruelly taken, but detectives never gave up on finding justice for her and her family.
13-year-old Minnerly Soriano, who went by Minnie in 1999, was on her way home in Co-op City when she was sexually abused and strangled. 3 days after she went missing, her body was discovered in a dumpster in the Bronx, dumped like trash. Eyewitness News reporter Sandra Bookman in 1999.
Police spent much of yesterday looking through the trash at this video store here at the Bay Plaza shopping complex in the Baychester section of the Bronx.
More than 20 years later, investigators say they found her killer. 49-year-old Joseph Martinez pleaded not guilty today to murder charges.
There were several persons of interest involved in this case, all of whom were excluded via DNA.
But prosecutors say they have mountains of evidence against him. Police made the arrest in the cold case murder yesterday.
This case brings together modern science and traditional investigative work.
This case has left a dramatic impact on us.
Detectives found the father of the suspect, which then led to Martinez. It's like building a family tree by searching for specific familial DNA.
The DNA evidence recovered from Minnerly's was initially searched through the CODIS databases, which are the government databases, for a direct match. Those results were negative in 2000. Consequently, when familial DNA searching was introduced, familial DNA searching is a deliberate search using specialized software for a relative.
Minnie's family at the DA's press conference say they never gave up hope. It's been 22 years, she says. All of this has been overwhelming, but they're grateful to detectives and the DA. Nobody from her family and none of Minnie's friends remember Martinez, but police say he lived in Co-op City in 1999. Police say he was living all these years in New Rochelle, in plain sight, living a public life, calling himself Jupiter Joe. A YouTube video shows him in public places, teaching astronomy to children.
If I told you my name was Joe Martinez, would you remember it?
His defense attorney says police have the wrong man.
He denies these allegations. The case is pretty unusual in that Mr. Martinez is 49 years old. He has no criminal history.
Now, when asked if this new technology would be a game changer for prosecutors, the DA said, "We'll just have to see." Minnie would have been 35 years old today.
More than 2 decades after the crime, police make an arrest in the murder of a teenage girl in the Bronx. And tonight, we're hearing from the victim's family, who say they had lost hope of any resolution. CBS 2's Allie Bauman with a story that is new tonight.
49-year-old Joseph Martinez is taken into NYPD custody and charged with murder Monday, 22 years after Minnerly Soriano was found strangled to death in a Bronx dumpster.
I'd like to say to him, why?
The 13-year-old girl was last seen in 1999, leaving her Bronxdale Middle School when she asked friends to go to the library with her, and they declined. Soriano's body was later found wrapped in a trash bag by someone looking for discarded movies in the dumpster behind a Bartow Avenue video store.
He threw her in the garbage, in the dumpster, como she was a garbage. She was a garbage. She was a human being.
Investigators spent 2 decades searching for the killer. Over the phone, Soriano's father told me he had lost hope there would ever be an arrest.
I feel happy because justice is working, but I feel sad at the same time because it takes too long.
Sources tell us police found Martinez, a New Rochelle resident, using familial DNA, a controversial method which allows police to search for potential relatives of a DNA match.
I can't explain because I can say I'm happy because they catch him, but the pain is still here. The pain no go.
The family told me this arrest does not give them closure, but it does feel like the first step in justice for Minnerly Soriano in the Morris Park section of the Bronx. Allie Bauman, CBS 2 News.
The road that I was needing to go. Just forget the negativity and be the person that you want to be. It's all about the good vibes of that good life. My whole life I've wondered what it's like to just give up. But I got no quit in my heart. I got ambition in my soul. Never letting life take me down. I turn my frown upside down. See a bright, bright future. Finally turn myself around. Sometimes my head runs amok. I can't.
When I look up at the sky, I just
See